Yeah, so that's the look of the picture in the frame. It's a lovely little picture that I'm really pleased with it. So I'm in the process of making this frame at the moment. I'll show you what I've been doing, but I've just tried a picture in there before I carry on with it, and it's going to look a treat, I think. So I'm really pleased with that. Yeah, so I'll catch you in a few moments. I'll show you. I'll take the picture out of the frame and just show you what we've been doing. And I'm going to, when the frame's finished, I'm going to hopefully, I think I'm going to spray it white, to be honest. I'm undecided at the moment, but I think I will. And I think it'll go really nice with the picture then. It'll lend itself quite nicely. So yeah, I'll come back to you in a moment. I'll take the picture out and just show you how I've gone about making that frame. Yeah, so that's the picture I've painted. It's oils on canvas, and it's really a painting um, about finding your solace in nature, which is obviously why I put the signpost there, finding solace. And it's like a story of a young boy. He's all alone, a bit lost, and he's wondering if he can find peace and tranquility, in the presence of nature. So he's got his little rucksack on there, and he's looking at those boats, thinking, "Yeah, I can get in one of those and sort of row myself across there and find lovely peace and tranquility in creation and nature, which is nothing better, really. I don't think so. I love these little paintings I do. It just sort of portrays the way I feel about the earth and creation, because even though the world's in a mess, there are still some lovely places, and I look forward to one day when the whole world will be transformed into this wonderful paradise, which is the Bible's promise, is what I latch on to. There's nothing else these days. So anyway, I painted this picture depicting that sort of a scene, and then I'm just in the process, as I've just shown you, making this frame. And it starts off really, I've just got some 100mm width ply, 18mm ply, and I cut 4 pieces. Obviously the internal dimensions is just a bit over. I sort of allow a quarter of an inch in the width and in the height to put the picture in, and allow for a bit of movement, because things do move, so you don't want to make it too tight. So I've just cut those off square, glued them together, and then I've sort of got 12mm MDF board there. You can just see that on the edge. Look, and I've sandwiched that on, and I've mitered those on the front. Oops. When we turn it over, we can see I've mitered the corners there, and I've glued those two together, so we end up with that sandwich. And then all I do is buy these mouldings, pre-made mouldings that you can see here, and you just cut those to length, miter them in the corners obviously, and glue those on. And then that other little detail I've put there on the frame is just something I've chose to do, just to give the frame a bit more character, and when it's all painted up, it'll look quite effective, I think. And then obviously the bit I've put on the inside there is that Scotia beading, which is the actual, gives us that rebate. I can just turn it over again. You can see inside there, that's the rebate that the picture sits on, and the canvas is 12mm thick, well, it's about 14mm thick, so it just drops in there. And I'll show you how we fix that in towards the end once the frame's all finished. So I'm just in the process of cleaning this up at the moment, sanding down the joints and what have you, getting it all nice and flush, and ready for painting. So what I'll do, I'll come back next time when once I've got that sanded up and probably got a coat. I'm going to put a couple of coats of gesso on it first of all to seal it all, so the paint will take nicely. And before I do all that, I'm also on this edge, I've got another flat beading, a softwood beading that I'm going to plant around there to cover all that detail where the where the two boards apply, the end of the ply and the MDF. So that's going to all get covered. So I'll get them strips on there, show you when I've done that, and show you when I've got a coat of gesso on it, and see how we're all progressing. Alright, I'll catch you next time. Yeah, just want to take your time and just a bit of fine sandpaper and just sort these joints out, you know, and finish them off nicely. Don't take a lot of doing, but it's worth getting them nice and flush. And also, when you've got these sharp edges on the bead, just need to go along. Take that corner off, called Harrison actually when I was an apprentice. First job you did was Harrison all the corners what was going to be primed, and because what happens is on the corners, you see, the paint won't stick, it won't take, so you just slightly take it off at an angle and it just finishes it off nicely. And as you can see, those joints, you just get in there on the miters and just clean them up, get them nice and flush. And the same on these, you know, these outside ones. Don't take much doing really, it's quite therapeutic. I quite enjoy this sort of work myself. Come out pretty nice really. I mean, I've only used one of these Stanley, I'll show you what I've used, one of these Stanley mitre boxes like that. I cut them all by hand, you know. I sooner do most of my work by hand. I've got machines, I used to use machines years ago, but I find it much more rewarding, you know, if you can just use the skills that we developed, you know, before machines came on the scene. Because really, when you do it with a machine, I mean, obviously it's quicker and people are strapped for time these days. They've got to get it done quick and stuff and make a living, but I don't think you can beat the old-fashioned way. You know, I mean, that joint there, it's just been cut on that mitre box I've just shown you, and carefully with tenon saw put together, and you know, when it's sanded up, it comes out really nice. It makes a lovely job. So I think that's more rewarding if you've got the time to spend doing it. So yeah, what we'll do, we'll carry on with that then. I just thought I'd show you what I'm doing, and it's all done by hand to get a nice job. And then when it's all sanded up, we get all these joints nice and flush, and we're happy with them. Then, like I say, we'll give the whole frame a coat to a gesso, which is what we use to prime it with before we start spraying the paint on. So I'll come back to you another time when I've done a bit more. Just thought I'd show you the progress. Yeah, I don't really can see that. What I've done there, look, is just planted that strip on the edge, and what that does, you see, it's going to cloak all the MDF and the ply end grain and finish the frame off nicely. As you can see there, look, you see I've still got that to do, so that's what we're getting over. These are sticking a bit proud, but what I'm going to do when they're glued up, I'm going to just plane that down. It won't take a couple of minutes because it's only very thin, but it just edges it off nicely, as you can see there, and it'll just make a, you know, nice professional job of the frame when it's all done. So I'll let them dry for an hour or two and plane them down flush with the back of the frame, and then I'll get the other two edges on, and then that's all the woodwork on. Then it's just a matter of finish cleaning it up. I've pretty much done them miters on the other side now, so once these two edges are dried, I'll plane them down, get the others on, plane them down, and then I'll come back and show you how we're progressing. So I'll catch you next time. Right, so yesterday I got the first two edging strips on. You can probably see there, I've glued them on, and they're dried now, and I've planed it down flush with the surface of the ply, so that's ready. And then I've just put the other two edges on, one that side and of course one that side. So I've just cramped them up, as you can see, got a few cramps on there. Let that dry till tomorrow, and then I'll plane them down, and all the woodwork's done then, and it's just a matter of you know, cleaning it up and then getting it all painted. So I'll come back when I've took cramps off and got them two edges planed down, and then we'll be ready for putting the first coat of gesso on. So I'll show you that when we get on with doing that. So I'll catch you next time. Alright, so I've finished putting those edges all the way around, and I don't know whether you can remember earlier on they were sticking proud, so I've just planed them down to the surface of the back of the frame there. And then just to finish off, what I do, I just get myself a flat file like this, and I just place it flat on the back of the frame, on that plier, and just go along just to get it completely flush with the back of the frame on that edge in there. And then you see, if we just get sandpaper with a tendency to round it over and stuff, and then when it's against the flat wall and hanging on the wall, it could look a bit of a mess because you've got a bit of a gap. So what I do is just flush it off like I've just suggested. So just holding a file, going across at a 45 degree, and then on the very edge, the corner where we get that sharp edge, just a couple of shavings with a file just to take the arris off there, and then when we paint it, the paint will stick easily enough. So I'll just continue going all around these edges with a file, do that. I've still got to clean up the where I've stuck it on the surface there, look, so that's all got to be cleaned up and ready for painting. So I'll do that, and once I've done all that, I'll come back to you and show you how we're getting on. But I think, yeah, it's looking quite nice now, you know. Got those edges on, and it all looks like a nice solid wood frame now. So it'll look quite professional when it's all done, I think, and a real classy frame for the painting. So I'll catch you in the next video when I've just finished off sorting these edges out, and then we'll be ready for the painting stage. So I'll come back and show you that. Okay, catch you next time.